This is the Diamond Hawgs Podcast with Mason Choate and Robert Stewart.
Welcome to the Diamond Hawgs Podcast. I'm your host, Mason Choate, joined by Robert Stewart. We do have producer Christian with us in the booth. We are live at Baum-Walker Stadium where Arkansas just got the series sweep over Wright State, a good Wright State team. Their 2-8 record does not reflect how good of a team that is. Dave Van Horn said it after Sunday's game. They're probably going to win their conference. You're probably going to see them in postseason baseball once again. But an impressive weekend from Arkansas. You saw the lineup really pick it up. You saw guys like Caleb Cali show what they're made of. Jace Bohrofen had a good weekend after a bad Friday. And the starting pitching, I mean, that's what you were expecting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hagen Smith, I don't know. That he's still struggling with pitching behind in counts. So, he one earned run is a good number, but you'd like to see that 4.2 innings go up a little bit, especially after he had the same number last week. Will McIntyre, not outstanding, but maybe Dave Van Horn's going to start kicking him in the leg.
Yeah.
He said that, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Urban Meyer. You remember
No,
that with the kicker?
I know what you're talking about, but also like it was a Dave Van Horn like joke, but also it's like I don't know, maybe.
Right. and then Hunter Holland.
For context though, Will McIntyre got hit by a line drive like on the shin, and Dave Van Horn said that he pitched way better after getting hit by the line drive than he did before, and so he's like, maybe I got to kick him in the leg before a game or something.
Right.
You got to provide the context.
Yes, I was hoping that we dive into it.
Yeah, you can't afford. Christian said it. He doesn't have the mic. He decided to talk without a mic in his hand. But you cannot afford to lose any more pitchers. So, like, when Will McIntyre got hit in the leg, it's like, oh, no. Because isn't that how Mark Adamiak got hurt last year? He got hit in the leg from a pitch during, like, a preseason scrimmage in the indoor or something?
And he was never really the same.
No.
I mean, based on the comment we got about him preseason.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hunter Holland on Sunday.
Yeah.
Quality start. The first one in, 12 games?
Something like that. And it was interesting because another instance of Hunter Holland struggling in the first. And then he told us after the game that he's done that like since he was 12 years old. And it's like, okay, you would think that you would figure that out by now. But it seems to have worked for him. And he was like, if I get out of the first inning, then I'm going to be fine. It's just that first inning. And, he's gotten out of it, but it definitely has not been a smooth ride.
Yeah, we were joking about this in the press box at one point. Like, maybe what you do on Sunday is, like, use an opener and then bring him in the second inning. I don't know. Just a thought.
Or they said, like,
simulate
an inning in the bullpen before and then let him throw. I don't know. I'm sure they'll get that figured out. Or maybe they won't, and it'll just be Hunter Holland, like he said, since he's 12, and he'll just get out of the first inning every time.
Just be something you have to get used to.
Yeah. So,
I've seen like Max Scherzer do that before. Like he starts shaky and then that's tough. That's really tough.
Oh man.
Shaky start and he recovers. Man, speaking of recovering, I'm trying to. You just won't let me.
That was legendary. Oh my god.
It was only a matter of time before something like that.
And I'm not taking that out.
Oh no, I know.
For those listening, I edit the podcast. Why do you think that the pictures on the thumbnail is always a good one of me and a bad one of Robert? we need to put a picture of you, Christian.
It'll be
that's
one
okay.
of him in a suit or something.
I don't.
He'll
Sharp. Get me like nice and fancy.
Okay, send me a picture from your wedding. Beardless Christian. But for those who don't know, Christian has like a monster beard right now that he's been growing out since he got out of the Air Force. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thanks for saying that.
All right. So let's go through the weekend. We don't have any sponsors because busyness, but
we also have nowhere to travel.
Yeah, no, really getting sponsors is only important for travel. But so the Friday game, Robert, you want to take us through the Friday game? You talked about Hagen Smith, but just a good performance from the Razorbacks.
Yeah, it seems like the consensus in the locker room, everybody we're talking to is really happy about the way the bats are not swinging, but the way the hitters are swinging the bats. 4 runs in the third, getting it done early. That was a run rule victory. It was 12-2 that game. How about another walk-off, 3 and 3 this year already.
Yeah, we need to talk about this because I've seen, and this is, I've seen this the most from our friend Dennis Meters, I think that's his name, on Twitter, Bomb Squad on Twitter. He says it's not a walk-off.
I mean,
technically he walked it off, but
like if you look at the origin of walk-off, it's the team who lost is walking off the field like in shame. That's what it is, and that's what happened. Like I realize that it's a 10-run rule instead of the winning run, but I mean they're still walking off the field. I call it a walk-off.
okay. I mean, I think that it's a walk-off, but also I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some baseball expert aficionado guy. I just call it how I see it and how everybody else calls it, and that is a walk-off, so it's a walk-off. Kendall Diggs walked it off, and
Jared Wagner.
Oh, Wagner. I thought you said Diggs just a second ago. Maybe that's why I said
no,
Diggs.
I was talking about
The other one.
Diggs was the Illinois State game.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Anyways, Wagner, yes. How about a dude who's just a pure hitter? That's all he does is hit.
He's a pro.
He's going to make money. Speaking of Kendall Diggs, though, Kendall Diggs, no, that was Caleb Cowley. He was talking about Cowley, and he said he had the most pure swing he's ever seen in his life.
Yeah, that's pretty high praise. I mean,
Yeah.
Caleb Cowley did. Yeah, he homered. That was the first run on Friday. Caleb Cowley homer, and then he had a double to left.
At that point, every hit of Caleb Cowley's Arkansas Razorback career was a home run.
Right.
Which was 2.
Right, and then he doubled in the 7th, and then he kept the extra base hit alive there.
Yeah.
And he had like a 110-mile-an-hour line out to center that game.
I'll tell you what, man. Arkansas has been getting unlucky on some of these hits.
Taking Josenberger in particular.
They crushed these balls. They had a lot to the warning track that were just unfortunate, but this Arkansas team can hit the heck out of a baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what we're saying. Like, they're just swinging it well right now, and that's what you need when you have, so many pitchers going down at one time.
Yeah.
Which we don't have timelines on, but, hopefully next week.
Another thing, Dylan Carter, your first guy out of the bullpen, throws 2 1/3.
Christian, you want to take a victory lap here?
Yeah. Hey, shout out to, Preston Birdsong? Was that the guy on Twitter?
Yeah. Yeah, Preston tweeted at me the gif of Will Ferrell, like, raising his arms in the air, because this is Christian Cheatham right now. But, yeah, I was excited to see him out there. I'm glad he got a couple innings, and they got the W, hence after the run rule walk-off. And then I believe, is it Carmen Carter? His mom actually liked the tweet that Preston sent to me. So, like, she saw it. So
nice.
that was kind of cool. But, yeah, no, I was happy for him. And it was a week late because I think I called it last week that Carter was going to have a good weekend, and then it happened this weekend. So
It's never too early.
But I think it could be the beginning of a good year for him, and they're going to need his help. I mean,
absolutely.
Real quick. So he said Carter got the W.
On Wednesday against Illinois State. It was.
You were talking about Wednesday?
Yes.
Or are you talking about Friday?
Yeah,
Okay.
But I mean, if the game had gone 9 innings, I think we would all be arguing that Carter should have gotten the win because Smith didn't make it through 5. I think going off of Dave's logic last week when
if it's a 7-inning game and Smith goes 4 2/3, yes,
8
I
innings,
agree.
but yes,
It was 8 innings. Oh yeah.
but he still got more than half of the innings.
Okay. Yeah.
as well.
Okay.
Now the argument last week, Hagan went 4 2/3 again, and Dave said he should have got the win because he was on a pitch count. But I don't know. He threw like 105 pitches this time, so I don't think that argument would have worked if he went 9. Anyway, wins and losses are dumb stats, so congratulations to Dylan Carter for pitching well in consecutive games. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. Dylan Carter, I mean, he's having his Will McIntyre season.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Well, I was going to mention Hagen Smith gave up his first earned run of the year. That was tough.
He did do that.
The ERA is no longer 0.00.
You can live with a solo shot when you're up 5-0, though.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to Saturday's game. Christian, you were at Saturday's game, weren't you? Okay. So I'm going to let you guys take this one because I was covering basketball. I showed up late, and then I wrote my basketball story during the game. So I don't feel confident talking about this game.
Just not a baseball guy. I can't imagine why you wouldn't be here
Shut
on
up.
Saturday.
Shut up, Robert. You said shark.
Don't have to keep bringing it up. Oh, man. Runs early and often on Saturday. The vibes at Baum were much better than Bud Walton. I have to imagine as the basketball game went south, but Peyton Stovall with his 3rd home run in 3 games to get the scoring underway in the first. Walks, man, they were just killing killing Wright State. We heard so much about this lefty, Sebastian Gongora, going into the game, only threw an inning. Dave mentioned after the game that he had some sort of back issue, and that's why he came out so early. So, that was unfortunate for him, and, the Hogs just feasted on the Wright State bullpen. Five runs in the second, 2 in the third, so you're up 9-1 after 3. It's looking like a certain run rule victory. Ended up not being. But shout out to Austin Ledbetter for making his resurgence, I guess. 3 shutout innings, and didn't need that many pitches to do so either. I think it was 33. Had a couple of 10-pitch innings. Only gave up 1 base runner. So, hopefully that's really good for his confidence. And then, Jake Faraday coming in the 9th. He didn't look good, and turned out he was hurt. So
Another pitcher.
Another
pitcher banged up, hurt, injured list. I don't know.
Right, like he hadn't made that many appearances this year yet, and so it wasn't a super valuable piece as of yet. But it's a matter of depth. We need depth.
You get on camera,
Christian, welcome to the shot. You're no longer a second-class citizen.
I got all my Razorbacks gear on right now, but
He's embarrassed. It's okay. But yeah, I mean the offense. Like, who else hit home runs? Jared Wagner hit his third in 3 games, joining Stovall. There was another one, wasn't there? Jason Jones made his first appearance in, I don't know, a week and a half. Struck out a couple times with the bases loaded, so Dave wasn't super thrilled about that. But how about that home run?
I mean,
Christian?
Jason Jones has got elite pop. Like, when he hits the baseball like Cali, it's going out of the ballpark. I was standing behind third base side over here, and I was just, like, my mouth was just open. I was just looking up at it. I could not believe he crushed that ball. Was it 438?
Was it?
I think
I thought I saw it register under 400 on the TrackMan, but I thought that was wrong.
No, I think his was definitely 400, at least 400.
It had to be.
Yeah, it was a monster shot into the hog pen.
He admired that one as well. He should have, and then he had a double in the 8th. So a couple of extra base hits for him. That was nice for him.
Did you want to talk about McIntyre a little bit? Just 5 innings, but 8 hits.
Wasn't real sharp early,
Yeah.
Dave said. Yeah, I mean 8 hits. It's funny. We got up he got up to the podium and saw the box score. And he's like, "Man, 8 hits? That's crazy."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. I think he mentioned it. He's when he's got an offense that's swinging so well on the other side, like it gives him, more confidence. He's more at ease to go out there and throw. And try to get back to where he was, I think was a phrase that Dave Van Horn used too.
Another thing from the lineup, though, every starter got on base. Polk and Bolton got on with walks, but
every starter got on base at least twice, and hitters 1 through 7 all had 2 hits. So
what a day!
Yeah, what a day indeed. Caleb Cali finally got a single, 2 of them. Had a big 2-run single there in the second to sort of put it out of reach early. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a clinic on offense, really.
Yeah,
tough day for Wright State.
Yeah, tough day. I think that's it for game 2.
All right.
Mason,
Yeah.
you're back on.
All right.
Little change of cast here.
Yeah, switcheroo. Get me back in here. And we go to game 3, where Arkansas got its first sweep of the season, 6-2 win over Wright State. Hunter Holland, as we mentioned, the first inning, but it just he is really good at working around runners on base. And then you had the Arkansas lineup, couldn't really get anything going until the 5th inning. They got a run on a sac fly in the 5th, right?
No, Bolton had the RBI
Oh, the
single.
RBI single, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to your point, like the first, innings 2 through 5. Even though they did score a run in the 5th inning, they stranded a runner in scoring position in all of them. And you heard Dave Van Horn, you heard Peyton Stovall talk about it. There was just a lot of ground balls. Arkansas was rolling over against this guy, Luke Stoffel, who we didn't even talk about on the last episode because we didn't know who was going to start for Wright State on Sunday because Alex Theis, who did make an appearance, he had like a 43-point-something ERA. And so, you can't give that too many chances. Anyway, Stoffel matched Holland's quality start with one of his own, 1 earned in 6 innings. let's see, how many groundouts to second were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including a double play. 7 in the first 5 innings. And then there was the E4 and the 4-6-3 double play in the 6th inning. So a lot of balls going to second base today. Caleb Cali getting on base with a two base error. That was huge. Shout out to John Bolton for the RBI single to tie it up. And then, opposite field shot for Jace Bohrofen to take the lead. And then once they got to the bullpen, it was over.
Yeah, it's real quick on Stovall. Did we ever have a concern about his defense going back to second? I mean, he's been great all year, but I don't know. Was there ever a concern from anyone, really?
I don't think so.
I mean, he's looked great.
The E4 I mentioned, that Wright State committed that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Stovall's defense.
No. So, Stovall said that the lefties, the Razorback lefties, were hitting the ball to second base a bunch, which they did. Right,
okay.
I mean, Caleb Cali, he's back. But the Stoffel guy, he was. See, now it's confusing. It's confusing. No, yeah, you heard it because you heard the wrong pronunciation of what would be Stovall, because Christian used to call him Stovall. Okay. Anyways, the Stoffel dude was pumping like 94, 95 through like 4 innings. He
dotting it up.
He was elite. He was really good. Arkansas was struggling to hit him. And then they chased him, after 6? So, I mean, they didn't really chase him. He just didn't come back out, right?
He got up to about 90 pitches.
Yeah.
It was really the same story as Holland. It was just Sunday was a heck of a pitcher's duel. That was really the first time since the opener that we've seen that.
Yeah, and so what you saw was Arkansas took advantage of the new guys that came in. You mentioned the Bohrofen home run. And that we heard it post-game was like this team, is finding ways to battle, to get pitchers' pitch counts up. And it's just really working out for them. And then, of course, you had the thing with Koty Frank happen, which I guess we need to mention that. It was tough. You're like, okay, here we go, another arm injury to a pitcher. But what
Two pitches in,
yeah. But what really happened, we don't know what happened. But Dave Van Horn said it wasn't an arm thing. It looked like he was touching his side area with his lat muscle or whatever. And the trainers come out, they talk to him. And then he throws a warm-up pitch, and then he just, bends over in pain. And everybody in Baum Walker just, gasps. And then Koty Frank's day was done. It was tough to see.
It was tough to see. I mean, I wrote a story a week or two ago about how he and Tygart were, the only bright spots in the bullpen, and now both are looking like they're going to be out for a while. I mean,
well, I don't know about Frank. The Frank thing could be a lot of things with it not being an arm injury.
It could, but it clearly is affecting his ability to throw a baseball.
Yeah, but you don't know what it could have been. I mean, heck, he could have just been sick, for all we know. I don't know.
It could have been. I just know it didn't look good.
It did not look good. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. So you just hope that you don't lose that guy for a long period of time, like you lost Tygart for. 5 to 6 weeks is what we know on Tygart.
Right, and I guess we haven't really talked about that yet.
No, we haven't.
We talked about this before the diagnosis, but 5 to 6 weeks on Tygart, that's great news considering the circumstances.
Absolutely.
I mean, it really.
Considering, as you mentioned, the circumstances, that's best case scenario.
We were prepping
honestly.
for the worst, yeah.
Yeah, we talked on this podcast about how Brady Tygart. I mean, it looked exactly like what you thought it was, and then we get the diagnosis, and they're getting a second opinion, but we get the initial diagnosis from Dave Van Horn on Friday night, and what we hear is it's a strain to the UCL.
Not a sprain like that one idiot said.
Yeah. And then, so they're hoping 5 to 6 weeks. So.
Right.
That's where you're at.
Anyway, back to Sunday. Shout out to Koty Adcock for coming in, getting an 8-out save after Frank goes down. A couple of groundouts, no problem in the 7th. And it was still a 2-1 game at that point. So, I mean, he came in a pretty high-leverage situation. No runners on, so that helps. But, 4 spot in the 7th for the Hogs. Shout out to Parker Rowland for his first home run of the year. Catcher's been...
First home run
collegiate...
At the D1 level.
NCAA home run,
NCAA, yes. Yeah.
After 2 years at Arkansas State, that's right.
He didn't have one at Arkansas State.
So yeah, that was a big swing from him. Jace Bohrofen picked up a couple more RBIs in the 7th. Jared Wagner drove in yet another run. Dude's a machine. And then Koty Adcock, one sac fly, no problem in the 8th, and then works around a leadoff single in the 9th to secure the save and the sweep. It was a really encouraging week from Koty Adcock.
Yep, absolutely. A very encouraging week, especially on. We thought when he got those 2 outs after the Frank injury, and then he comes back out and gives up 2 singles right away, we were like, all right, here comes the Koty Adcock experience. But he really figured it out. I think David Horn mentioned this, and we could all kind of tell after he gave up those 2 singles, he was pissed off. He was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And you saw his velo go up. I mean, he was pumping like 96 on one pitch, and this was TrackMan. This wasn't like the TV gun, which is very hot. He was pumping 96, and that's like the Koty Adcock that you're looking for. And it is a good sign to have a guy like Adcock step up, a guy like Dylan Carter step up, Parker Coyle even, not in a high-leverage situation, but on Friday, Parker Coyle gets in and does well. So
Scoreless 8th.
Yeah, so it is good to see that. I don't know what else to add, man. Tavian Josenberger had a rough Sunday, but
tough weekend, honestly.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned earlier, it's not that he wasn't hitting the ball hard. It's just that he struggled to find grass. Although he did strike out 3 times on Sunday. So
yeah.
To your point, yes. Also, I would like to talk about the interference call to start things off Saturday. Anybody who remembers the 2019 World Series remembers Trey Turner getting called out on essentially the same play.
Wait, hold on. Trey Turner?
Yes, Trey Turner.
What team does he play for?
I hate this bit.
What team does he play for, Robert?
He is under contract with the Philadelphia Phillies.
I thought he played for another team.
That won the World Series in 2019? Yeah.
But didn't he, wasn't he the best shortstop, and that team was like, hey, we don't even want you?
Well, he did get traded during a fire sale.
But what team was that?
It was the 2019 World Series champion Washington Nationals.
How are they doing now? Without the league's best shortstop?
Not well.
Yeah. Okay. We can move on from that, yeah.
Okay. Shout out to Dave Van Horn. He said, I think it affected a World Series game many years ago. It was 4. It was 2019. That was tough. That was tough for me to hear.
Yeah.
Anyway, Josenberger laid down a bunt. He's coming in from the right-handed batter's box, so he's going to be running inside the baseline. It's the fastest path to first base. And Dave Van Horn said as much. It's like, how do you change that rule? It's a silly rule, and to me, that's just the umpire inserting himself into the game. Like, I don't know. He thought Josenberger got hit in the back with the ball, the umpire did. He didn't get hit with the ball. The first baseman just didn't catch it. So I think, if that were a more high-leverage situation like it was in the World Series, maybe Dave goes a little more berserk than he did, but it really didn't matter because the Hogs had a good day at the plate. But I don't know. I feel like that should have been a bunt hit for Josenberger. So,
Cool, man.
that was where I wanted to go with that. It was long-winded because you wanted to talk about the Phillies.
I didn't even see that because I was at basketball. So
Not a baseball guy.
I have a job, Robert, and I have to whatever. Christian, you got something to add?
Back to the Jason Jones home run. So I looked back. So yeah, Jason Jones was at 396. It was more of a liner into the bullpen.
I
You were
thought
right.
it was at least 400, man.
So I was
No. No way it was 396. Bohrofen had a home run earlier this year. I think it was Bohrofen or Diggs that went to right
Over the building.
and they had it at 376. No way that was 376. Everybody in the press box for that Jason Jones home run agreed that 396 was not accurate.
Okay, we mentioned this earlier, but you were too busy editing, I think.
Oh, I didn't.
He's editing on the spot
man.
this graphic. I've seen it.
Yeah, no, it's a good graphic. If you're watching on YouTube, then you've seen it. It's a good one. You want to check out Robert's face. I got a new face for Robert.
But I was just correcting or bringing up the home runs that I was talking about earlier with Robert. So, because the Caleb Cali one was the one that went 438 on Friday night.
Yes.
The one to dead left of the batter's eye.
Absolute monster shot.
All right, let's wrap up with weekend MVPs. Robert, go ahead.
Wow.
At the plate and on the mound.
Well, I feel like it's got to be Jace Bohrofen, doesn't it?
Yep, you can take Jace Bohrofen.
That's an easy path. I'll take it. He was in the 2-hole to start things off, reached base a couple of times, and then struck out. Ended up getting pinch hit for. That was interesting. But he moves back down the lineup in the 6th hole, goes 2 for 3 on Saturday with a double, a single, an RBI, and a run and a walk. And then 3 for 4 Sunday, 3 knocks, of course, 3 RBIs and a run scored with an opposite field home runs. Those are always sexy. So good for Jace Bohrofen there. 556 on the weekend, OPS of 1.667. That's a weekend MVP worthy performance in my book.
I'm going to go Peyton Stovall. Look, man, he had 7 hits on the weekend, 6 RBIs. That's a team high. And he had 2 homers back-to-back days, Friday and Saturday. I mean, Stovall seeing the ball well, struck out just 1 time on the weekend. This is the Peyton Stovall that we were expecting. I honestly, I think he's playing a little bit better than we expected. Christian mentioned his fielding earlier. I think it was on accident. But he's been really good at second base. As good as you can hope for after losing a guy like Robert Moore at second base. And then, of course, he's adding it at the plate as well. So, give me Peyton Stovall.
Absolutely. I think it's a good pick. And, he's not getting maybe as much attention as the other guys like Wagner and Bohrofen and now Cali. But, Stovall's getting it done consistently.
So, my pick for offensive MVP, is he becoming the forgotten man, Brady Slavens?
I was hoping you were picking.
Because he went 2 for 3. What was the second one? 2 for 3 and 2 for 4. What was his doubles on the weekend? I don't have all the stats combined right now.
Here we go. Friday, he homered and singled. Saturday, he singled and singled. And then Sunday, he doubled and singled.
Yeah, I think he's the leader that I was talking about at the beginning of the season, that, the quiet leader that's just going to go out there and get on base a couple times, maybe hit a home run every now and then. But, he is quietly probably the best or second best hitter on this team.
Right, and we've mentioned this a few times before. I've asked this question in post-game press conferences, but the way that Brady Slavens is going to the opposite field is incredible.
If I would have told you before the weekend there's going to be one Razorback starter that doesn't strike out this weekend, would you have guessed Brady Slavens?
Maybe based on the way that he's played,
Oh
but
gosh, dude,
but
no way.
But everybody loves to talk about how Brady Slavens strikes out. So I get your point.
Okay, so that might have been a question better for the listeners.
Yes.
Brady Slavens struck out 0 times, the only guy in the starting lineup to do that this weekend.
2 walks to no strikeouts is awesome.
Yep. All right,
6
good
for 10.
pick. Good pick, Christian. Robert, on the mound.
On the mound. Oh, jeez.
All right, I'm going to go with Austin Ledbetter.
That's a good one.
3 innings pitched on Saturday, gave up just 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Austin Ledbetter, Golden Spikes campaign for 2024 is back on.
Yeah, it was never off.
No, it was off. He had 1 outing, and we were like, it's off.
He's just following the script, okay?
Yeah, it's all in the script. It's scripted. Austin Ledbetter, he's back. I think on the TV gun he was throwing like 95, but let's all clear that up and say he throws like 91, 92 max.
He was not missing bats, but he was getting the contact outs that he needed to get. So,
all right,
good for Austin Ledbetter. I'll go with Hunter Holland. I love
the birthday boy.
Yeah, birthday
Big
boy. 2-1.
You think he's going out to drink?
Surely he's going to go have a beer tonight.
I highly doubt that Hunter Holland has ever drank a sip of alcohol in his life.
Not even a beer?
I would hope not. If he's underage drinking, I'll be really disappointed.
All right. I'm a sucker for a quality start, and that was the first of the year, so that's a pretty easy choice for me. Gets past a shaky first inning and does the job. 5 shutout between innings 2 and 6. That'll play. That'll play on any Sunday. Congratulations, birthday boy, weekend MVP Hunter Holland.
And I guess I just have to stay with Dylan Carter. I know I've already talked about him today, but came in after Hagen Smith only went 4-2 and he threw 105 pitches, so we needed a guy to eat some innings, and Dylan Carter's been looking good, so I'll just keep it short.
I like it, man. How many years of eligibility does Dylan Carter have left?
Oh, this is a Hutch question.
Should we call him?
Yeah.
Hold on. We got to wrap up quick because my wife needs me home ASAP. But this is a good question because we got to see if we can declare him the 2025 Golden Spikes Award winner.
I thought we already gave that to Mason Neville in the fall.
No, not yet. Let's see.
Hello.
Hey, Andrew Hutchinson, you're live to tape on the Diamond Hawgs Podcast.
I am still in the press box, by the way.
Okay, I just have a quick question for you.
Okay.
How many years of eligibility does Dylan Carter have left?
So I think, what's he listed as?
I think he's a redshirt junior, maybe?
I thought he was
Yeah,
a
so
redshirt
I
sophomore.
think he's technically.
Wait, hold on.
Redshirt sophomore.
Redshirt sophomore.
Yeah, so I think he's technically a redshirt junior, but it's because has 3 more years left because he pitched 2 in JUCO, one of which was the COVID year, and then redshirted last year, and so he would technically have 3 years of eligibility left.
All right, that's all I need to know. Thank you.
Yep.
You're the man.
Yeah, so he's going to have his Kevin Kopps year in 2025.
There will be 4 of 5 years in which an Arkansas pitcher will win the Golden Spikes.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That would be incredible. All right. Well, that's all I got to add, boys. It was a good episode. I enjoyed this episode. I think
Vibes were better, as promised on Friday's Diamond Hawgs
we
podcast.
needed this. I had people text me and message me and be like, you were right. The vibes were really down. They were. It was awful. But this was great.
I want you to put the word out there that we back up.
I want you to put the word out there that Robert Stewart said shart on the Diamond Hawgs podcast. All right, talk to everybody on Monday. Wait, no, Friday.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Diamond Hawgs Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Choate Mason and at DRStew32.